There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is a great day for Audubon baseball. The practices still go on, but in a different form. Welcome to the first Audubon Green Wave Intersquad of 2020. Here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon from the Hank Greenberg Field. I'm your play-by-play commentator for all Audubon baseball games in 2023, Dan Wilkins. And folks, Ryan Zimmer, who is usually the starting catcher for the green and gold, will now be on the other end of the ball field on the mound. Catching him should be Dylan Pooley, who has been the JV backup catcher, or I should say the backup catcher period, and starting catcher for JV. But we have ourselves a good one. This is technically my first of 58 high school games that I'll be covering here in 2023. Of course, about 28 or so regular season Audubon Green Wave games, and I missed 6 of them last year, 5 due to the team spring break vacation in Myrtle Beach, where they played a lot there, but also one that I missed versus the Timber Creek Chargers, where I was very sick with a form of pharyngitis. Oh, looks like, there we go. I'll have to lower the camera a little bit. Let's see. I've said before that this is not just practice for the players, it's also practice for myself, as coming up to the plate to start our festivities, show your face, fella, it's Jack Dempsey. Ryan Zimmer versus Jack Dempsey. Technically, today, nobody can lose. Let's get the action started. Ryan Zimmer and Jack Dempsey. Zimmer on the right side of your screen. Yes, the teams are labeled green and gold, but there isn't really much of a precedent towards that. It's really just whoever gets to bat first. And here we go. First pitch is upstairs, and it's 1-0. Audubon finished their season last year 22-6. They were the number 1 seed in South Jersey Group 1 playoff action, as that one is inside. However, a second-round loss to the Woodstown Wolverines made a bittersweet ending for Xavier Massey, Isaiah Pinkney, and others who graduated this year, as 3-0 is the count to Jack Dempsey as he starts off his first at-bat in organized play here in 2023. 3-0. And that'll be ball 4. So no compensation pitch, and Jack Dempsey will take a free trip down first, where he'll meet with Joey Slavin, wearing number 21. And here's Charlie Copsetta. Now, I had a bit of a laggy stream the first time that we did this whole inter-squad, shebang. So basically, Copsetta hit a home run out to right center to the right of my booth, and it missed a swing. It got the ball landing in the pit that falls between the center field wall and the track out there in right center, but it didn't catch the swing. That one's a strike. 4 balls, 1 strike for Ryan Zimmer's repertoire to start the day. If you're just joining us, it's the first Audubon Spring Intersquad between green and gold, and that one is a fastball away. Zimmer's really been showing a lot of fastballs, not a lot of variety in his pitch variety so far. But the 2-1 to the lefty Copsetta, 2024 junior, and that one is downstairs. Zimmer having to work on some control here early. He walked the leadoff man, Jack Dempsey, on 4 pitches, and now is in risk of walking another in Charlie Copsetta. But Ryan Zimmer is kind of new to this whole pitching phenomenon, at least at the high school level. He caught all of last year, hit 273, did pretty good behind the plate, as now Dempsey will go, but it'll be a moot point, as Charlie Copsetta will take the trip down to first base. Back-to-back free passes for Ryan Zimmer, and this sets up an interesting situation for the team captain for the visitors. There is Charlie Grady. Although, no, that probably isn't right, because Scott Lynch is going to be pitching, and I guess you could call him a captain. But 3 key seniors this year on the 2023 ball club, as there's a foul ball that hits the brand new netting out there down the first base line. I've been so relieved to see that put in. They started work as soon as the school year started in September. and they got it done by maybe October. And after winter break, they put in this thing behind home plate, home of Audubon baseball. I love it. Love it all. 0-1 is a strike outside corner. Zimmer throwing gas, but he's got 2 runners on. He'll need to work on some control here early. And it's 0-2 to the senior Charlie Grady. 0-2. There's a breaking ball lifted to center field, and it falls in front of Jason Stockland. They're going to hold up Jack Dempsey, and the throw gets into the infield. So bases loaded on the single by Charlie Grady. Oh. There we go. Bases loaded, and now this will bring up the cleanup man, Scott Lynch, that we mentioned earlier. Bases loaded with Charlie Grady on first, Charlie Copsetta on second, and Jack Dempsey on third. If you're just joining us, you're watching Dan Wilkins broadcasting coverage of an Audubon Green Wave Spring Intersquad between green and gold. Keep in mind the first scrimmage is Friday, as the first pitch is down and away. 1-0. First scrimmage is Friday, pending the weather, as it looks like it may rain Friday and Saturday. But the Northeast comes down to Jersey. The Enfield Eagles, who we saw have a scrimmage versus the Green Wave back last March with a final score of 7-3 Green Wave over the Eagles. They will come back to town with a 4 o'clock game on Friday the 24th, as there is a foul back to the netting, and it lands right in front of that nameplate back there, and it is 2-1. But then a new opponent gets us on Saturday, the Springfield Golden Eagles. They will play the Green Wave on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Again, pending the rain, as it looks like it will be a non-insignificant chance that there will be showers on Friday and Saturday. Looks like even tomorrow there may be a good chance, as there's a strike on the inside corner, made Lynch back up a bit, and the count is full. Yeah, 70% chance on Thursday, 60% chance on Friday, and an 80% chance on Saturday. Doesn't typically bode well, as there's a rocket center field, and this ball is gone. Grand slam, Scott Lynch off of the junior Zimmer. That one was headed for the track as soon as it left the bat, and it is 4-0 Green team. So it is 4-0 as Scott Lynch cranks a ball to center field. And still no outs. First pitch is a strike to the 5-hole hitter, which is sophomore Nick Caladros. Caladros had 7 innings on the mound in 2022, but only had 14 at-bats. Most of them were in Myrtle Beach, so we didn't get to really see them for their full glory, but hold up, oops, that one is a ball. 1 and 2, messed something up with the scoreboard. There's a swing and a miss. So Caladros down on strikes. There we go. So here's the big fella, Hunter Lowe. He's at the dish after Zimmer strikes out Caladros, rebounding from that grand slam by Scott Lynch. Swing and a miss. Takes a hefty hack, and it is 0-2. Strike 3. Here's Dylan Pooley. First pitch is a strike, and it's 0-1. So after walking two, giving up a base hit and a monster grand slam to Scott Lynch, who had 4 homers last year for the Green Wave, led the ball club in that category. He now has rebounded with back-to-back strikeouts of the sophomore Caladros and the junior Lowe. 4-0 Green team here in the top of the first. Zimmer 1 strike away from getting out of it, but the slider misses. Misses its target, and it's 1-2. Yeah, Audubon was not first in home runs. They had 14 long balls during the season, but they were second as West Deptford, the Eagles, had 19. As there's a strike right down Broadway, no doubt about it, and everybody will go back to the dugout and we'll switch places here. So, Scott Lynch, grand slam, and after hitting the homer, guess what he's got to do? Well, he's got to go back out and pitch. 4-0 Green Wave, or I should say 4-0 Green team. Everybody's the Green Wave here today, but 4-0 Green over Gold going to the bottom of the first here from Hank Greenberg Field. We're in the bottom of the first here from Hank Greenberg Field. This broadcast of Audubon Green Wave Baseball is brought to you by Paroli Printing and Bantle's Banners, Signs, and Apparel. We are the true one-stop shop for all your print and promotional needs with a 5-star Google rating, over 50 years in business, and we handle any ink on paper project as well as banners, signs, apparel, and promotional swag. Scott Lynch hit a grand slam in the top of the first inning to start his senior year, and now he fires his first pitch to Tyler Wiltsey, which was upstairs. Wiltsey was voted Freshman of the Year by NJ.com, and he looks to expand on that prowess in 2023 going into his sophomore year. They talk about the sophomore slump, but I honestly don't think any sort of slump exists for a guy like Tyler Wiltsey. He was also ranked top 10 in the state by PBR, Prep Baseball Red Zone for New Jersey, as that one is also upstairs. So Scott Lynch and Ryan Zimmer, both starting pitchers, needing to work on some control here. But again, it's their first true outing of the season versus live opponents, so, you know, give them some time. As here's a fly ball, deep right center, out towards us, Tommy Quinn under it, and he drops the ball, goes past Copsetta. It'll go to the wall, and Wiltsey's going to charge into third as the fly ball gets muffed, and that is going to be a 3-bagger for the sophomore Wiltsey. Took a 3-0 fastball and did not miss it. Quinn was asking if that was his ball. or if that was Copsetta's ball, and seemed like it was an agreement that it was Tommy Quinn's ball. So that'll be scored in E9. Umpire is, oh, they're going to switch umpires, okay. Never seen a mid-at-bat umpire switch off before, but remember, it's training for the players, umpires, and even broadcasters. The 1-0 to Zach Beebe, the senior, and that one's upstairs. Audubon's got three prominent seniors this year: Charlie Grady, Scott Lynch, and Zach Beebe. Zach Beebe was typically the normal right fielder, 9-hole. That one is a strike. But you got to give it to him. You know, you look at the batting average and you think, well, 200 batting average, that can't be good. But Zach Beebe was a machine at getting on base. And he had 15 walks. I mean, that's well above average. And he also facilitated a walk-off walk versus West Deptford. Audubon played West Deptford 3 times last year because a game versus Glassboro was scrapped due to the fact that they did not have the proper time because of state testing to play a game. Swing and a miss, hefty hack by Beebe, and the count has run itself full. But yeah, that game versus the Glassboro Bulldogs was scrapped, and now they played West Deptford. And it was 1-1 going to the bottom of the 7th, and bases were loaded, and Zach Beebe watched the ball well, as he did there, and he'll take a free trip to first base. A lot of walks so far. And while you may think that may be a negative for the pitchers, you also got to consider this is a positive for the batters. The fact that they're seeing the pitches well. Like that last pitch versus Zach Beebe was not like blatantly high or low or outside or inside. It was a close pitch, and not only was it called correctly, you know, he also had the plate discipline to not swing at that on a 3-2 count. Because I gotta say, if there's any time where you are more inclined to swing than any other time, it's a 3-2 count. Because you know if you take it and it's a strike, then you're shambling back to the dugout, you know, shameful, you know? You got your head hanging low, and you're not gonna feel good about it if you take strike 3 looking. And if you take strike 3 swinging, then that's a whole different deal. But if you're able to build up the plate discipline to have a good enough reaction time to lay off a ball that is not, you know, so far away from the plate that even I could track it, you know, like that's upstairs right there to Mr. Ryan Zimmer. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Team Green leads 4-0 after a grand slam by Scott Lynch, who is the man you see on the mound right now in number 17. 1-1. That one is a good frame by Pooley, but it is 2-1. Yeah, there's Pooley back there. Two and one. That one's foul. The players had a player-led scrimmage on February 26th, and these were the two team captains, Ryan Zimmer and Scott Lynch. In a game full of defense, Team Zimmer won 2-1 in a six-inning scrimmage.
Oh yeah, Zimmer. Oh yeah. Get that film, boy. Get that film.
Runners on the corners here. Zach Beebe on first, Tyler Wiltie on third, following an error in right field. That one's upstairs. See, that's a ball that you can obviously, you know, very much tell when he's got to get out of the crouch and get way out of his rhythm in order to make the play. You know, that's when you know it's a ball. But those other times, that's why I've always said being a baseball umpire is not easy. The higher level you get, you know, the further up on the ladder you go, is Beebe's going to go down to second base, and Wiltsey will score. So how about them apples? I've done that move many times in MLB The Show, and just now have I seen it for the first time in real life. It's 4-1. So a strikeout brings up Joey Slavin, the lefty. Mostly played JV last year. I mean, he seems like he's going to be a formidable arm in the Green Wave pitching staff. But one thing that all of his teammates told him is you got to work on control. You know, he's kind of like the Jose Alvarado of the ball club. He throws fast, he throws hard, he throws well, but that's only when he throws well. You know, if he's wild, he's you know, throwing the ball everywhere, can't locate a strike. But that's a part of development that everybody's got to work on. Scott Lynch does not throw absolute heat, you know. He's very run-of-the-mill for these kind of high school pitchers. I mean, his ERA was somewhere in the 3.3 range, or somewhere between 3.3 and 3.7 last year. You know, not exactly exceptional, not John Perosi or Sean Driscoll levels, but he did well. And he didn't have to throw that hard to do it. Jason Stockland threw a no-hitter against gosh darn Washington Township, a Group 4 school, the first that I can remember. And that one is a ball, 3-0. Lynch and Slavin. 3-0. He'll need some compensation here, and that one is given. 3-1. You'll see this in Major League Baseball, and you'll see it all the way down to Little League. When the count is 3-0, the strike zone expands a little bit more leniency, and when the count is 0-2, it shrinks a little bit. So unless you're throwing it right down the middle every single time, like he just did there, to make it 3-2, unless you're throwing it right down the pipe every single time, then you're usually not going to get a 3-pitch strikeout, or unless you're throwing it so wildly that, you know, you couldn't hit it with an oar, and you're really not going to get a lot of 4-pitch walks. But Slavin did have to work for his free pass, but he is going to earn it and get a trip down to first base. So runners on first and second now, as after a 4-run top of the first, it seems like Team Gold is going to get some of their runs back on different terms, as here is Trent Bennell. His dad's coming along here in just a second, but he's coming in from the right field side. I guess he got here just in time to watch his son at the plate. First pitch, way upstairs, goes to the netting, and both runners will advance. Lynch setting up here. And the 1-0 is a line drive into right and foul. Coming out there is Steo Caladros. Hunter Lowe at first base. There's Jack Dempsey at second. There's Joey Slavin on second. And the 1-1. Upstairs and inside, brushing back Bannell a little bit. And who's that over at shortstop? Is that Gabe McCracken? I believe so. Yes, it is Gabe McCracken. Now in the outfield here for Team Green is Tommy Quinn in right, Charlie Copsetta in center, and Charlie Grady in left. That one's upstairs. 3-1. A lot of issues with walks, I gotta tell you. This worries me though, because walks lead to runs, you know. The last thing you want to do is give somebody a free trip to first base without earning it. There's ball 4 again. So the bases are loaded, as they have been for both sides. The only difference is that Scott Lynch cleared them by clearing the fence. And Bryce Dempsey probably won't have the same goal as Scott did, but a ball in the gap could tie the game here, 4-1. Team Gold got their first run on a steal of second that went to home as a fly ball to left. Quinn can't get there. He's going to pick it up. One run will score, which is BB. Slavin's going to come around as the ball goes into the infield, and on a short hop to Pooley, it's not in time, so a 2-run double for Bryce Dempsey now cuts the lead down to 1. So Dempsey wasn't exactly able to clear the bases. However, he did get 2 runs home on that fly ball to right, and that brings up Jason Stockland. Stockland has told me himself he is not the most prolific hitter, and I don't think he said that in his own words, but you know, he told me something along the lines of him basically being self-aware of the fact that, you know, he's not going to be Tyler Wiltsey or Xavier Massey or Isaiah Pankney at the plate. I mean, you know, he's 5'9", 5'8", you know, somewhere around that ballpark, and he's facing guys that, you know, that throw better than he can handle. But, you know, Jason Stockland is part of the future for this team. 0.81 ERA in 2022 over 14 innings. I said before, you know, my threshold for innings pitched to be eligible for a league leader spot is 24.1, 24 1/3 of an inning, because I took the average number of games played by every competitive team in the Colonial Conference. So that's not like teams that took every other game as a forfeit, but I took that and basically, you know, you got 24.1. So on average, a team in a Colonial Conference plays 24.1 games in a year. There's a swing and a miss. Stockland goes down on 4 pitches, and this will bring up Josh Nolan. Folks, if you're watching this on the broadcast, please remind me I have to return Josh Nolan's water bottle. It's somewhere in my car. Somewhere in my car. Runners on second and third. First pitch from Lynch is upstairs, goes to the backstop. It's 1-0. Can't be having that. Really can't be having that. I mean, we saw it firsthand in 2022 that Audubon's strength was not primarily in pitching. You know, you had the 2 main arms, John Perosi and Sean Driscoll, who led the Colonial Conference in ERA, both having numbers under 1. I think in third place was John D. Costanzo, but there's a strike. I mean, looking at the ERA leaders, what the issue is, but we are tied 4-4 versus Josh Nolan. So now the last man remaining is on third base with 2 outs and a full count. Payoff is inside, and Josh Nolan had to do some airbender work to get that ball from hitting him. And now this brings up RJ Holma. It brings up Ronnie. I don't know if he has ever cared that I called him Ronnie, but that is his government name, Ronald Holma. But his layman's name is RJ. Sophomore, class of 2025. But yeah, the Colonial Conference ERA leaders from last year among eligible pitchers. I mean, Jason Stocklin had 17.1, so that's 7 innings short of the league average, or at least for league leader requirements. You know, short of my standard that I set. But if he had 7 more innings, he would have led the Colonial Conference in ERA, and as a freshman. No-hitter versus Washington Township, had some incredible performances in Myrtle Beach. I mean, the kid's just incredible. He's so charismatic. He's so just a wonderful person to be around. And, you know, we share a class together where he sits right in front of me, and I've never seen the guy down. I've never seen him without a bright smile on his face. As there's a deep fly ball out to right, and this time Tommy Quinn brings it in. Inning over. We go to the second, and we are all tied 4 apiece. Talk about a high-scoring one. We'll take a quick break. First pitch of the second is caught by Jason Stocklin. They started the inning quicker than I expected them to. So it kind of caught me off guard. And the first pitch to... Is that Copsetta again? No, it is Tommy Quinn. That's upstairs. So Zimmer having to deal again. Seems like both pitchers are having issues with control. A lot of walks issued, a lot of free passes, but Scott Lynch has really been the key to this Team Green offense with his grand slam in the first inning. There's a hefty hack by Quinn. His helmet almost fell off. 2-2. There's Hunter down there. Gabe and Joey Slavin over at first base, and a foul ball. Somebody tried tagging him. That's Trent Bannell back there. Didn't even realize he caught, but and that's a plunker. Rub some dirt on it, Tommy. He'll get a free trip to first base. So after all those walks, that's the first hit by pitch of the game. We'll be talking with Joey Slavin there. And now here is Theo Caladros, the freshman. First pitch is a grounder through the right side, but it will get stopped, or at least it was stopped, but now it's a base hit as it got through second base. He got through on that one. RJ Homa at second base didn't really have that one well. mean, the hidden beauty of these inter-squad games is that when the coaches are there to give their guidance, you know, it's kind of like a stoppage in play when everybody goes to listen to Rich Horan, you know, who's celebrating his 31st year of coaching Audubon Green Wave baseball starting in 1992. If that one goes to the backstop, another wild pitch and another advance of 90 feet. I mean, yeah, I know it's early, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see so many mistakes being made to start. I mean, but it's almost like a double-edged sword, because if the pitcher does well, then that either means that the hitters are doing bad, you know, but there's a line shot out to Homa, throw to first is in time. Slavin's got it, and he quickly delivers the ball back to the pitcher. Looks like a run traveled home on that one, so yeah, that's going to make it 5-4. And a ball. There's a strike to Cop set on the check swing. It's 1-1. Zimmer's dealing is a curveball that misses him. 1-2 it looks like. That's at least what I heard. It's the best thing about not having a lot of fans in this ballpark right now, at least, is that you can hear the umpire pretty clearly. And right now there's not even really a fan that's in the seats. It's so one of the associate coaches. There's Coach Jeff right there, and another fella and another fella. Maybe about an attendance of 3. And there is strike 3. I guess they're gonna call it early here as we go to the bottom of the second. A run plates for Team Green. It's 5-4. Going to the bottom half. We'll take a quick break. Back from the top of the third, and Charlie Grady will come in for Mr. Lynch after just 1 inning. And the first batter will be Lance Furness, sophomore here in 2023, class of 25. First pitch is high and inside. And this is another good part about the spring, is that, you know, you have a chance to watch the players that you may not see that many times during the season, especially if they're going to go to JV. Like Lance played for JV last year, but his mom, Janara, did an amazing job, an exceptional job with doing photography for both JV and varsity. Usually varsity when there was no JV game, but usually JV when there was a varsity game going on because of her son Lance. So, I mean, nothing wrong with that. She, again, does an exceptional job, and I think I was able to get images of basically every player that played an out for the Green Wave, even if it wasn't a full season. She did such a great job with the photos, better than I could do, to say the least. And like Hunter is doing photography for basketball. He did some of that for the boys basketball in the winter. I know Amari Pimentel, who does track, also is doing that, as that one is a grounder out to third and in time. One away. 5-4, Team Green over Team Gold here in the bottom of the second, as Charlie Grady records his first out of the season, and here is Tyler Wiltsey. So back to the top of the lineup for Team Gold. First pitch is a fly ball out to left. Caladros loses his hat, and it's a foul ball. Well, he'll have to go grab that one. Charlie, move out of the way. There it is. Zach Beebe's lost his hat in right field plenty of times. I think it's 2 sizes too large. There's a good shot of it that if you look on my personal Twitter, D Wilkins 92, I think it is. If you look over there, it's literally just a picture of the West Deptford Audubon game where Zach Beebe loses his hat tracing a fly ball, and the hat itself is facing the camera like at the perfect angle, so it just makes a perfect, like, screen grab this while you can kind of moment. Swinging a grounder, foul over towards the third base coach, Mr. Jacobowski, Coach Jake. Of course, the whole third base and first base coach situation is a bit ambiguous right now, as Travis Inkster elected not to retire from the team following the 2022 season. He was honored for that at the spring sports ceremony in the second week of June, as Tyler Wiltsey goes down at the hands of Grady, and there's 2 downs. This brings up Zach Beebe in that bright yellow shirt. You can see that from a mile away. On football, repping his fall sport, where he usually plays wide receiver, and his opponent on the mound, Charlie Grady, is usually one of the tight ends. Charlie's been getting a fair number of football offers. He actually got one, had a visit and took some photos in a jersey with FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson University, but that was a couple months before the famous March Madness run that stunned the world when Fairleigh Dickinson defeated Purdue in the first round of the college basketball tournament. But hey, Princeton's still in it. So New Jersey still having their Cinderella stories year in and year out. They had St. Peter's last year. They made it to Sweet 16. Princeton made it this year. I mean, not just any New Jersey school, an Ivy League school. You never expect Ivy League schools to do better because they're the schools that have the rocket scientists. I'm sorry, Alabama, but you guys don't have that. And BB didn't have that one either. As he goes down on 3 strikes, we go to the top of the third. No action to that point, and it is 5-4, it looks like, going to the third. We'll be right back. There's Dan Reed, the football coach for the Green Wave, and also helping out with the track and field, specifically the field side of it. And there's freshman Jonah Jordan, who I really thought was going to play baseball this year, but he elected not to. Throwing shot put instead. New pitcher on the mound for the Green Wave. In the top of the third, it is Joey Slavin, as Dan will go back to his work. Left-hander for the Green Wave. There's Coach Jeff with a fellow umpire out in the grandstands, out and about. Folks, this broadcast is brought to you by DJK Roofing, South Jersey's #1 roofing supplier. With over 200 5-star reviews on the web, get a free quote today at djkroofing.com. And I should say we do have a pitching change presented by Paroli's Printing. Joey Slavin on the mound for the Green Wave here in the top of the third. Team Green leads Team Gold 5-4 as Scott Lynch hit a grand slam in the top half of the first inning. And, well, Team Gold got all of their runs back in the bottom half, but really nothing since. Just one run on a wild pitch by Team Green, and that's where they lead now here in the top of the third. You're watching coverage of Audubon Green Wave preseason baseball here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at the Dan, D-A-N, Wilkins, W-I-L-K-I-N-S, show, S-H-O-W, at gmail.com. We also now have a Venmo if you would like to help out with the ever so rising expenses from the 2023 season. It is not a free opportunity and it is not a free expense to broadcast 58 games in a season. So if you'd like to contribute, we have a new Venmo account, as that one is fouled back to the screen, 1-0, or 1-2 rather. So take a look at this. That is our new Venmo, DW Broadcasting. You can pay on Venmo. I don't have the app on my phone, but that's where you can find us at DW Broadcasting. That's where you can also find us on Twitter, as the 1-2 is a foul ball ripped down the first base line, almost took out one of Scott Lynch's ankles off of Slavin, but you know, I was talking about how Slavin probably would like to work on his control in his junior year. Well, guess what? I think he's already done it. I mean, this is just a one-batter example, but he really seems like he's got a lot of it down, and maybe I just jinxed myself. But that is a ball, 2-2. Can't have them all. Can't have them all. Spring season is in full swing here at the Spring Intersquad here between Team Green and Team Gold from the Hank Greenberg Field at the corner of Walnut Street and Cedarcroft, as there's a throw to first. On the swing and a miss. And there is one down. So Charlie Grady goes down as a rush of cold air just came in. I mean, not necessarily bad weather. My car's temperature scanner read 72 degrees when I left to get my equipment at home at 2:35. Right now 64 degrees, wind blowing south to southwest at 12 miles an hour, which could be why Lynch hit that grand slam, because the wind is blowing out. But here is the man of the hour, Scott Lynch. Again, hit that grand slam in the top of the first inning off of Ryan Zimmer. Yeah, 64 degrees. It's going to cool down to about 61 at sunset. And like we said, the rain is probably going to start at around 4 or 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it could stop around 2 o'clock, but that's not what we're looking for. That one's a foul ball, right field line. And that one's in the street. Look out, travelers. A lot of cars passing by. One and two. Outside and called as such. Good frame job by Zimmer, just couldn't get that one down. Jason Stocklin out in left, Bryce Dempsey in center, and Zach Beebe in right. Here for the team gold as that one misses upstairs. Zimmer's got to get out of the crouch, and it's 3-2. Swing and a miss. Back to back. Nope, never mind. I must have had the wrong count. Now it should be full. I thought he hit 2 foul balls, but this is why I want to get a scorebook to keep track of, as that one misses. So what I thought was a K turns into a double B, as in walk. I mean, the BB in the scorebook actually stands for base on balls, which makes sense from a literal perspective. You're getting a base because of the amount of balls that you took in the at-bat, but enough of the technical terminology here. That one is a ball to Nick Caladros. Before they have their jerseys, I gotta look over and zoom in to see who is who, which is a task easier said than done. But the 1-0 is down in the dirt. Whenever I see a ball that's thrown in the dirt, I always think of the old Little League chants that we used to shout. We used to shout them so loudly at the other team, and it was a shouting match, really. Our dugout would say some sort of chant, and the other dugout would return the same when they were at the plate. You know, the battle was always to get into the other pitcher's head. And you will see that all the way through high school. Although I will say, as that is a 4-pitch walk, I will say that once you get in high school, the focus becomes less about taunting the other pitcher and making him out of his comfort zone than it is about hyping up your own folks. So, like, you know, you hear a lot about the Little League, you know, pitcher, he's a belly itcher, or something like that. Something like that. I haven't played Little League in a while. I haven't played baseball in a while. It's been a long time. But those old Little League chants, you know, they shifted once you get into high school from trying to rattle the other pitcher into now trying to hype up and be, you know, kind of like a mini support group for your teammate while they're hitting. And of course the JV players and the bench bats, while they're in the dugout, they'll hype up their own pitcher, but usually the offense is loudest. Just by a sheer number of people that are present in the dugout. Especially if they're a larger school like Washington Township. I remember that dugout down the first base line looked more packed than Grand Central Station. That is a New York City subway reference for those that don't travel a lot, but it is 2-2. I think they also have made Grand Central Station references in movies and TV, so it's not like it's that niche of a reference. It's just not overtly well known. That one is a foul back to the screen, and it'll roll along, and it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the third. This game's moving pretty slow. I think we started almost an hour ago. This live stream's been running 55 minutes strong, and it's 4:35 here on Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Spring equinox was like 2 days ago. That's ball. That actually hit Hunter. So that'll be a plunker off of his left foot, and he'll take the jog down to first base. Stretching it out a little bit. So here's Gabe McCracken. Should be at least. Yes, it is. And there's pitching coach, Mr. Knoll, behind the plate. It did make me think about the fact that, you know, Coach Horan, he is 67 years old. And this isn't exactly going to be a case where I personally don't think that he will be, like, coaching for another 15, 20 years. And that's not a slight against him. That's just my opinion. And he could watch this and disagree. And he knows best. He will know best for when his time is, you know, after 31 years coaching Audubon Green Wave Baseball, got his 500th win in West Deptford. back in 2017. That's 6 years ago. Might even be 7 years ago this time. By the end of my senior season, he very well could get to 600 wins. By the way, he's facing Dylan Pooley. Joey Slavin on the mound. Dylan Pooley at the plate. Backup catcher for the Green Wave. The 0-1 is a ball that just missed downstairs at the knees of Pool Shiesty, as his nickname is. I've gone over the Shiesty thing before with how they're really just baklavas, a modern name for baklavas, or ski masks. Coming from Russian soldiers in World War I, that's where they get their name. But they call him Shiesty. Bases loaded. Top of the third. Game's moving quite slow as Joey Slavin will try to do some damage control, but it's 3-1, so they're at risk of walking in a run and extending the lead to 2 for Team Green. Pooley probably not going to swing at this next pitch. Out of an abundance of caution, and that is the case. 3-2. Count is full. Everybody getting into their positions. Lights, camera, action. Slavin to Pooley. 1 out, top of the third. Outside. Looked like a sinker ball there from Slavin, but it just did not have the right oomph to hit the zone, and Slavin issues a bases loaded walk. 6-4, Team Green. Here's Gabe McCracken. Outside. The backstop looks so much different than it did last year. You know, you can see the fans so easily with the fact that there's not a chain link fence back there to really stop them. You know, just that netting that you really have to zoom in for you to even see. Like if I zoomed into the grandstands, you can see the wavering patterns of the netting, but from back here, it's not even noticeable. It's outside. Two and 0 to Gabe McCracken. 6-4 after the bases loaded walk issued by Slavin. Again, trying to do some damage control here, but right now only causing a little bit more damage. There we go. You must have heard me well. 2-1. A lot of geese droppings still out there. I know that Bill Lougheed has been out doing a lot of busy work to get the field in tip-top shape for the season, as McCracken will take ball 4. Caladro scores, and still no change yet, although really nothing from either of Rich Horan, who seems a little tired. It's a swing and a miss by Tommy Quinn. Makes it 0-1. Strike 2. Back-to-back strikes down Broadway, and it is 0-2. 4:40 p.m. here on this Wednesday afternoon. I'm sure these players maybe like this more than the regular practice. I swung by on Saturday to get a glimpse of how this team's doing, and Jason Stockland posted on his Snapchat a picture of himself and buddies in the locker room at 6:45 in the morning, and I wouldn't even wake up for another 3 hours, as that one is, in the words of Bob Uecker, just a bit outside. That one almost got Wade and Noel back there. Again, that's the control thing that Joey Slavin will have to develop as he ages as a pitcher. There's strike 3 to Tommy Quinn. This brings up Theo Caladros, freshman, one of a few freshmen. I know Chase Bozarth is one of them. A lot of the freshmen are hitting down at the cages to my right. I'll show them in a bit after this pitch, which is upstairs. Time is called. We're going to have a substitution. Calandra going back out to second base. Pooley go to the dugout. There's Colin Filippi out there. There's Chase Bozarth. Hitting with Anthony Witts, who's a sophomore. There's Aaron Pilla. There's a ball. Bases loaded, 2 down. Joey Slavin looking to finish the inning with minimal damage. He walked in 2 runs. That's a ball. And we are going to have a conference here, very quick conference, or at least a very intimate one. Just one-on-one, Slavin and Tyler Wiltsey. Three and 0 to Caladros. He'll have to, maybe that's what Wiltsey was talking about. He's stepping off here. Remember, there is no pitch clock in high school baseball. I don't even think that there would be the resources to put one on my screen. I wouldn't be able to keep a stopwatch that consistent. Strike one. Caladros takes one at the hands. And it is 3-1. And that is strike 2. Caladro started to walk out of the box, but did not get that call. That is outside. Well, there's another walked-in run, and I'd imagine they might make a switch soon, as it is now 8-4 Team Green. And now bases still remain loaded for Mr. Jack Dempsey. You know, I didn't know a lot about Jack before before we started, having this high school baseball experience, where he, yeah, it is 0-2. Okay, just wanted to make sure. But I didn't know much of him before 2022, and he will very likely, when he is older, maybe as a senior, as there's a strike 3, we'll resume this story when we get back. Bottom of the third on its way, 8-4 Team Green. Bottom of the third, coming right up. Bon appetit from the Hank Greenberg Field in Audubon. Ryan Zimmer will lead off versus Charlie Grady, as Team Green has now extended its lead to 4 runs. It's 8-4. Charlie Grady now with a little bit of breathing room for his side, as that one is a first pitch wild thing. And it's 1-0. I'm sure most of y'all have seen Major League. Live Once, one of my favorite baseball movies. That one is outside. There are some baseball movies that I did ask some players during the Winter Intersquad. I took my camera up to them and I said, "What's your favorite baseball movie?" And a majority of them said either Major League Rookie of the Year or I think the Benchwarmers were on that. Which that is a very good and very crude humor kind of movie. I do love it. I think for more serious baseball films, I like 61. That is the film where Roger Maris has his home run chase with Mickey Mantle in the 60s. Where Maris gets 61, and there's a swing and a miss by Zimmer. It's 3-2. Moneyball, I think, is personally my favorite, but that's also because I'm a giant stat nerd. I'm not a typical baseball player. I'm a guy that's got 40 statistics on every hitter in the Colonial Conference. It's their strike three. Zimmer watched it as the count rebounded from 3-0 to 3-3, as one away for Mr. Joey Slavin. Outfield shifting over a little bit to face the lefty Slavin. Base is empty, one down, and that one is upstairs. Pooley's got to get out of the crouch. And it is 1-0. From Charlie Grady to Joey Slavin, that one misses high and away on what looked like a slider. It's 2-0. Base is empty here, one down. 8-4, Team Green leads Team Gold in a spring Intersquad here to kick off the 2023 season. That one's high and in as well, and it is 3-0 to Slavin. Looks like the track is mostly cleared for now. There were a lot of folks running around, but it's like shot put has dispersed. The only thing that's left, oh, look out. I bumped into the camera. The only thing that's really left looks like is javelin. As a swing and a foul. I know there was an Audubon freshman, Aiden McKinney. I saw him walking by a little bit earlier. He went to the AAU National Championships for track and field in Virginia Beach, VA, and placed third, not in the state, but in the country for 15 through 16-year-olds in shot put. Had a throw of 40.5 feet, which I was just amazed by, because I had no idea that a ball that heavy could go that far. And I mean, McKinney, when you look at him, he's not necessarily like, he doesn't look like he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, our winner of Mr. Universe or something like that. You know, he kind of looks like a regular guy. And whenever we're on the same team in gym class for something, like whether it's badminton or volleyball, we call ourselves the Bearded Dragons, because he's a freshman and he's got a bigger beard than I do. As a junior in high school. There's a ground ball, and it boots into center field. So Jack Dempsey couldn't make the play on that one, but a valiant effort. And that puts 2 runners on, as Team Gold looks to support a comeback with Jack's brother, Bryce. 2 twins. I believe Jack is the older one. I believe by about a couple of minutes. Jack at second base, Bryce at the dish, and that one is away. Oh, come on, Jack, don't go out of frame. One 1-0 to Bryce Dempsey. That one's upstairs. One is also upstairs, 3-0. Was so excited last night about the World Baseball Classic, but I was also so disappointed that it would be coming to an end. Phillies opening day, March 30th. I don't think that the Green Wave have a scrimmage that day. There's a strike, a little bit of a compensation there. It's 3-1. Yeah, looking at my calendar, I don't see... No, there is one on the 30th, where there is a ground ball to Dempsey. Flip to second for one on the first is in time. So a 4-6-3 double play develops in perfect time to prevent anyone from getting home. It's 8-4 going to the fourth. We'll take a quick break and be right back after this. Well, won't you know, he went right out of frame as soon as I turned my camera on. Look who's the new pitcher, Jason Stocklin. First freshman in Audubon program history to throw a no-hitter as a freshman. As coming up now, first batter for Stocklin will be Charlie Copsetta. There's a pop-up out to right on the first pitch, and Zach Beebe comes down with it, making a running effort to make the play, and there's one away. There was Bryce Dempsey out there in center field, and Bryce was calling to me. He said, D. Wilkes, it's coming right to you. So one pitch, one fly out to right on a P9, and this will bring up Charlie Grady. Yeah, Bryce was telling me, he said, D. Wilkes coming right for you, because in the winter Intersquad on February 26th, Copsetta did hit a homer out towards the pit in right center field in between the track, and that's a base hit to left, falling in front of Trent Bennell. So a base hit for the senior number 7, and that puts a runner aboard for Scott Lynch. At least the action's moving very quickly so far. So a first pitch flyout and then a first pitch single by Charlie Grady. The game's not exactly moving that quickly, but here in the top of the fourth. That one is a strike. That reminds me, it is time for the DWB Trivia Time. The question today is, which player holds the record for most strikeouts as a batter in a single season? Here is the fly ball to center, going back. Did he do it again? He did it again! Home run, Scott Lynch. Number 2 on the day. I was afraid that was going to happen. Scott Lynch leaves the building to center field, and his folks extend the lead to 6. He clanks helmets with his buddies at home plate, and you can make it a 10-4 Team Green lead. Jason Stockland served up a meatball, and it was served with Parmesan cheese. Really hope I get a sponsorship from an Italian restaurant for that one. Well, I guess I really shouldn't have put up the graphic for the... I really shouldn't have put up the graphic for the trivia time when we had a guy that was prone to hitting home runs. I probably shouldn't have done that, but because like half the screen was covered, but it's a foul ball, 0-2. Let's do that again. So which player holds the record for most strikeouts as a batter in a single season? Is it A, Chris Davis, B, Reggie Jackson, C, Mark Reynolds, or D, Aaron Judge? The 0-2 is in the dirt. It's 1-2. So now we'll go back. The answer will be revealed in the bottom of the 4th inning, which won't be too far from now, so... because I forgot to do it until I mentioned, like, in passing that it was the 4th inning, and then I realized, well, oh, sugar. Pop up, first base side, Slavin going out for it. He makes the catch and foul ground, and there's 2 away. Wind gust coming in a little bit. Trent Bannell being vocal as always, and here is Hunter Lowe. I mean, Trent, you know, when he was a goalkeeper for the soccer team in the fall, he was just so electric with his delivery. I mean, I told him, I said, you know, when you're done high school, you should come be a broadcaster for DWB. You got the perfect energy. It's perfect. There's a line drive, base hit to left for Hunter Lowe. So he'll take a jog around first and pump the brakes there. That brings up Dylan Pooley. Hunter's been doing an amazing job of getting himself in shape for this season. He cut over 40 pounds in the offseason, and this is a guy that I know very well. We've been basically best friends for the past 8 years, you know, since middle school, even before that, you know, going back to like 3rd and 4th grade. I'll have to put a picture sometime on a Throwback Thursday for a Wave Rewind about for like when we were friends, because there's a picture, not when we were friends, excuse me, when we were younger, excuse me, because there's like a picture for like 2013, 2014 of us at the Yogo Factory, the frozen yogurt joint in Westmont. And I got like my old Lego hat with the flat brim, and I wear flat brims now, but like back then it was much more corny. it was much more obnoxious to the naked eye, especially color palette wise. But there's a strike, and you know, like very typically those kind of clothing aesthetics for like 11 and 12-year-olds are like those Nike "Just Do It" shirts, you know. There's a swing and a miss. Well, guess what Jason Stockland did? He just did it. He struck out Dylan Pooley, and the side is retired. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Stay tuned, folks, because we'll be revealing our trivia time at the beginning of the inning. The answer to the question, which batter records the record for the most strikeouts? Again, the choices were Chris Davis, Reggie Jackson, Mark Reynolds, and Aaron Judge. We'll reveal that answer in about 90 seconds. We'll be right back. New pitcher for the Green Wave, it's Nick Caladros. He'll be leading off versus Jason Stockland. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning means it's time for the answer to Trivia Time. The question was, which player holds the record for the most strikeouts as a batter in a single season? Was it Chris Davis? Was it Reggie Jackson? Was it Mark Reynolds? Or was it Aaron Judge? The correct answer, as we'll reveal here, is Mark Reynolds. Mark Reynolds struck out 229 times in the 2009 season, which was the record, and I believe still is the record as of this live stream. Two sophomores will face off against each other as Stockland in his pure PO stance. And no, that's not what PO means. In baseball, that means pitcher only, not what you may think it means. 10-4, Team Green over Team Gold. Coach Knoll was actually asking me what the score was, and it's 2-0. But yeah, Mark Reynolds, 2009, he was quite the three true outcomes hitter. We call them TTOs, which means they either hit home runs, walk, or strikeout. Really no in between. Not a lot of singles, doubles, or really no room for anything else in their repertoire, which is why Reynolds struck out as much as he did in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Quite a notorious hitter, to say the least. Spent a lot of time in Arizona, Baltimore. I believe he was a Colorado Rocky and Washington National at some point. Oh, excuse me. What's going on here? I think they're trying to fix something with the rubber. I just noticed there's a new Audubon A in white lettering. You know what? I don't think they're trying to fix the rubber. I think that the umpire is telling Caladros that he's illegally stepping off the mound. I think that he might have gotten like a ill-gotten step off of there. That's what the first base umpire was calling time for. And that one is down low, 3-2. Looks like we have ourselves 6 concurrent viewers as there is a foul ball. I'm a little surprised, but also enlightened that we have so many people tuning in for a game that literally does not count, which only half the team can lose. Here's a fly ball out to right, straight away. Actually, this one's a little bit of a floater, and Dempsey will reach out and make the catch in a contested area for the first out. Seems like there was a bit of maybe lack of communication between Quinn and Dempsey. And they were able to, well, he was able to make the catch. He really just had to go through an obstacle course to get there, diving on his knees. And Dempsey is a kind of defender that will lay it out all on the line. He does not care how many times he has to get that dirt out of his pants for the next game. He will 100% of the time lay it all out, go 110%, even in these inter-squad games, because he knows that last year his position was not safe. It wasn't even close to that. It was already locked up by the time that pitchers and catchers reported, because it was the position of second base where Sean Driscoll would usually play. Because last year it usually went Scott Lynch at first, Sean Driscoll at second, Tyler Welty at short, and Isaiah Pinckney at third, as there's a swing and a miss. And there's the second out. So back-to-back outs recorded by Caladros on the mound. And here is R.J. Homa. That one is away. Caladros had 15 innings pitched in 2022, as that one is again low. Had an ERA of 3.73, a whip of 1.6 in 5 appearances. 14 Ks, 2 hit by pitches, and 7 walks surrendered. His FIP, or fielding independent pitching, was 412, as that one will be ball 4. So RJ Homa gets a trip down to first base, where he will meet with Hunter Lowe. As here is Lance Furness. Little looper center field, and Lance Furness has a knock on the first pitch. Lance Furness gets aboard. Way to do it, kid. So Lance Furness lines one up the middle and wasting no time to get his first on-base appearance so far in this one, as Tyler Wiltsey will look to, at best, cut the lead down to 3. It will be 10-7 if he's able to do that. One's outside, although I don't know if Caladros will give him a chance, because Zach Beebe will be up, and with 2 down, I'd rather be facing Beebe than Wiltsey, but because Wiltsey's a good 2-out hitter. He's very good at delivering and you know, moving everybody up, even if it's not over the fence, because, you know, the same philosophy. Oh, they're going to call a balk on Caladros. Even in an inter-squad, umpires still have to play by the rules. That's a balk. I did it again. Jeez. Gotta fix that, that old hotkey. If I press the number 3, you see the umpire's actually explaining the Caladros. He was explaining, or he is explaining, why that was called a balk. That doesn't happen every day, but you can see these umpires here. There's the big red truck machine. That's our producer, Donna Wilkins, driving by. Looks like, yeah, she'll be making a left to get out of here, so that one is down low, 2-0. Like we said, Dan Wilkins Broadcasting will be very busy this year with 58 baseball games, about 28 of which are Audubon, and about 10 of them are Thank You Classic games. As there's a line shot, he really got down and dug it, and it will go under the fence. So that will plate 1, and it's 10-5. I believe that ball sliced down into the corner, and it went, and Charlie made the right call there. And the umpires will conference. They got to figure out where to put everybody. And you know, there were a whole crew of umpires that showed up. I would not be surprised if there are umps here that are in training, and they're using this inter-squad as a way to train them instead of like throwing them into a game, you know, without any warning. There's a ground ball back to the mound. Caladros to first, and it's in time. So a RBI ground rule double by Tyler Wiltsey, plates 1, and it's 10-5 going to the 5th, assuming we'll play another, and that looks like that's the case. Jason Stockland will be back out, and we'll take a quick break right after this. 10-5, green over gold. Top of the fifth here from Hank Greenberg Field in Audubon, New Jersey. This broadcast is brought to you by the Thank You Classic. DWB will be covering 10 games over the course of the weekend on April 28th, 29th, and 30th, starting with 2 games on Friday in Pittman, 4 games on Saturday in Franklinville, and 4 games on Sunday at the Joe Barth Field in Brooklawn. Don't miss a single pitch of the action when you watch Dan Wilkins' broadcasting coverage of the Thank You Classic. 1-0 to Gabe McCracken to start the inning. And that one is called right down the middle. And it's 1-1. Trent Bannell just asked what score it was, and it is 10-5. 10? Yeah. It's 10-5. Yes. Trent Bannell was asking the score, so we got the pigeon messenger out and gave it to him. That one is down low. I think Bryce told him. He said, I think he's trying to broadcast the game right now. Which I love that, you know. I feel like my relationship with the team. Oh, another one scored? Okay, I'll add that. So my apologies, folks. Looks like we missed a run. It is 10-6. Trent Bannell corrected me on that one because that RBI ground rule double, there's a bullet in the right by McCracken, and it takes a little bit of an awkward bounce and rolls right past Beebe. McCracken chugs into second base, and a miscue by the right fielder, senior Beebe, costs him a base. It looked like that wasn't really Zach's fault, though. It just kind of looked like a bad bounce. And he just said, I can't stand this effing outfield, which, yeah, like I said, not his fault. It's just that, you know, the conditioning and stuff, this is not, excuse me, this is not your typical baseball field. You know, there's a sewer grate in right center field that's in play, if you didn't know. That one's a strike. Let me see if I can get a good look at that sewer grate down there. I don't know. I don't think it will show if I maybe... Yeah, there it is. There's the sewer grate that is in play. That one's in the dirt. And to throw to third, Sales, but McCracken didn't have the energy to go, so no harm, no foul. Throw absolutely sailed past third, though. He's lucky it wasn't called out of play. 2-2 from Stocklin to Tommy Quinn in a very late swing. He's out. I think he started swinging as soon as the ball crossed the plate. That was a very late swing, but that is the kind of indecisiveness that really can hurt a player's performance at the plate. If you are hesitant and decide that you're going to swing at the last second, you're probably going to be late. And best case scenario, you foul it off. Or you pop it up to third base if you're a lefty. But I really have never seen a good scenario that comes out of being hesitant to swing. Either swing or don't swing, but you got to make up your mind by the time that you see that ball and you see where it's going. If it's not a good pitch and you swing at a bad pitch, oh well, you have another pitch. But that very well could have been called a ball on Tommy Quinn. He's a smaller guy, and strike zones are, you know, dependent on your height. And there's a swing and a miss there by Mr. Caladros. That is, yes, it is Caladros, and it is 2-1. So the freshman, as the sun has come out, cue the 1968 Beatles song "Here Comes the Sun" from their Abbey Road record. Of course, I can't play it on air or else I'd get copyright striked, but you get what I'm saying. As that one is down low, as that one caught some dirt. Ball 4. Runners on the corners now. This will bring up Mr. Jack Dempsey again. Maybe Jack Dempsey can hit a fly ball to his brother out in center. Yeah, if you ever hear me yelling for no reason, it's probably because a player is asking me what the score is. Because there's no scoreboard. Well, there is the scoreboard, the William Penn Bank scoreboard, but it is out of commission right now. Steve Bellis, our scoreboard operator, is currently at home recovering from a back surgery. We are wishing him well, as hopefully he'll be here by the Ralph Shaw, which is the weekend of April 15th and 16th here at the Hank Greenberg Field. 4 games on tap, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. The opening game will be Bishop Eustace versus Kingsway, which I ranked as the #1 team in my preseason jersey rankings. But nonetheless, they'll be facing off against the Crusaders, which I think were also in the top 20. Fly ball, right field, foul. Uh-oh. That hit the school bus. But that was dangerously close to my car, so... Oh boy. I shouldn't have parked there. Oh, that is the risk you take, though. Maybe we should get a sponsorship from Safe Flight Auto Glass. Jack Dempsey with a bright smile on his face as it's 1-2, outfield in a little bit. As the sun shines again, that one skips away. Going to second will be Caladros. He gets in there without any contest. So now both runners in scoring position here with 1 away. Liner foul, look out Coach Jake. Still, I believe 1-2. Let's take a look for a sign. Still nothing. Maybe the count's full, that's why. Grounder, third base side, picked up. Throw to the plate is in time. He got him there. And Dempsey will go to first. So now he gets aboard. So now with the lefty, here is Charlie Copsetta as everybody goes closer and closer to our booth. Dempsey runs and throw down. No throw. Zimmer pump faked, but decided better of it. Jack Dempsey on second. Still not sure who is the older brother. I know they're twins, but I think one is older by like 10 minutes. Swing and a miss. Hefty hack by Copsetta. There's a strike. Punch out for Copsetta, and the side is retired. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 10-6. Team green over Team gold. We'll be right back after this. Nick Caladros back out for another frame here in the bottom of the fifth inning. You're watching coverage of Audubon Green Wave preseason baseball here between teams green and gold. Can't get much better than that. Can't get much more simpler than that. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, drop me a line at the THE Dan DAN Wilkins WILKINS show SHOW at gmail.com. We're also looking for sponsors in 2023, as Ryan Zimmer will be the first man to face Caladros here in the bottom of the fifth. Basically, there's three packages. $50 is a spoken word advertisement, like I did earlier today with Paroli's Printing and Bantles banners and signs. The $100 package includes that, plus increased ad exposure, and you can have a segment of the game named after your brand, like pitching change, although that was taken, home run replay, that kind of stuff. The $150 package, which is the most expensive, is a 30-second commercial filmed on air at your location. Unless you work from home, then in that case, you know, you can like take pictures and send that kind of stuff to that. But you kind of get what we're saying. $150, 30-second live commercial filmed on location. I will do the editing, filming, voiceovers, and all of that stuff, unless you have something prepared or you would like to record your own voiceover. That is up to you, but that is how it works. So 3 packages, and that 30-second commercial for the $150 package, that also includes the other package of increased ad exposure and the spoken word advertisement. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Zimmer goes to Copsetta, and Zimmer will round first and halt there as a cloud of dirt arises. So base hit for the catcher Zimmer, and now this brings up Joey Slavin. There's a strike. You could hear that call from a mile away. It's 0-1. There's another one. A lot of the JV folks and the freshmen leaving the ballpark. Aaron Pilla back there in that group. Swinging a tapper. Back to the catcher. Pooley throws in time. And there is one away. Shoot, the fence got in the way of showing those guys, but a lot of the new guys. It's so great seeing these new guys on the ball club, you know, seeing them work with Coach Horan for the first time, especially if they've only really played organized baseball for a while, because you know, for a little while. As that one's in the dirt, Zimmer will hold at second. Ryan did move up 90 feet on the ground out, which will be scored 2-3. Oh, pump faked. Zimmer was able to slide back. Here's a grounder. Out to third, low, bobbles it. And he'll get aboard. Hunter had to rush in there and just couldn't get it. looked like it made good contact with the glove, but kind of just circus jugged its way out. There we go. I had to finish the sentence somehow, whether it was clean or not so pretty. So I had to make a commitment to the job. Here is Bryce Dempsey. I literally have to zoom my camera all the way in, and now we got a situation here with a rundown, and he got him. Two outs. I wonder if they did that intentionally just to get the rundown practice in. There's no way that I don't know. I feel like they did that on purpose to get the rundown practice, you know, like knocked off their checklist. I don't know. That seems rather weird. Here's a fly ball, bullet to right. It's going to be played perfectly for Quinn, and the inning is over. Team Green, or rather Team Gold, is held scoreless. They still trail by 4 going to the top of the 6th, 10-6. Team Green on top. Back here from the Hank Greenberg field. It's that time of year again for springtime, the equinox. The trees still have not really budded yet. Not a lot of flowers on those trees. Although if you zoom in enough, you can see there's something going on. They look like grapes, but I know they're not grapes because those aren't grape trees. There's our producer again, walking by, or driving by in a truck that is not hers, but she borrows it from our grandfather, so she kind of calls it her own. There is a ball, want to know.
How's it
Doing
going?
good, Mr. Van Rel, welcome. How's everything going down there? Welcome, Gavin Van Rel to the booth, everybody.
We had pretty good practice. Coach Barron hitting some nice bombs.
Well, the job is for the players to hit the bombs, not the coaches.
Fielding some pop-ups, some flies.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you guys out there on the out on the lower field out there in left, where I think that's Chase Bozarth, where he's walking right now. I saw you guys practicing out there. I thought you guys would have gotten some practice in the game today. Like, I thought that coach would have shuffled in at least everybody to some point. But there's a ground ball to Wiltsey. Throw across the diamond is in time. Slavin had to go down to the seat of his pants, but he gets the out, and there's one away. So, sounds like a good practice. And what's it called? For any of the new ball players, anybody that seems to excite you a little bit, you know? Any surprises out there?
Aaron Pill's looking pretty good.
I was gonna say I saw him on the first day.
First year player, and he's he's an athletic kid.
Yeah.
Got it.
I believe he also does football in the fall as well. But
Yep, with me.
it seems like he's got a lot of he's got a lot of swagger to his name. You know, he's got those he's got the blonde hair that like really it pops out at you. You know, the only other kid with blonde hair on this team is Trent Battle, or at least good blonde hair. You know.
Oh, you're forgetting Wiltsey.
I didn't. I said good. I said good.
Oh,
He needs to get. He needs to like cut it or something. Just anyways. How do you think the team is? How do you think this team's feeling this year? You know, like this is your first year playing for.
It's my first year back. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't remember if you played last year on like JV or something, but
No, I took a spring hiatus, went to track, got my speed up, started lifting.
yeah, I mean it's always good to get that kind of work in. I think people forget about the fact that just because you lift during the other times of the year doesn't mean that just because you play baseball means that your regular workout routine goes out the window. But like this team, it looks so different, but at the same time, you know, like these guys have to fill in the holes of two of the best hitters in the Colonial Conference, plus one of the best pitchers. There's a grounder to third, throw across the diamond is in time. So
Yeah, guys like that.
Yeah.
Good job.
I think that was Josh Coleman. Can't tell. No, I think that was Tyler Wilson that made that play at third because he's wearing a black shirt. But yeah, we'll go to the bottom of the sixth. We'll keep Gavin Van Rel with us for a little bit longer. It's 10-6, Team Green over Team Gold.
Pete Will's on the road.
Bottom of the sixth here from the Hank Greenberg Field. It is a 10-6 ball game. Most of the offense was going on pretty early. Scott Lynch hit a grand slam in the first inning to make it 4-0. But then Team Gold got all those runs back in the first. New pitcher for Team Gold, or rather Team Green. It's going to be Gabe McCracken out there. Only appeared in one game in 2022 as a freshman. Versus Collingswood, as there's a little roller and it's booted. Throw to first in time. Good way to rebound that by Homa there. Booted the ball and then just got it off in time. get the first out. So that's how that progresses.
Ron, notably the second and only second ginger on the team.
I'm trying to think of who the first one is.
Second to Dylan Pooley.
Oh yes, Pooley. Well, he's always got a catcher's mask on, so I can never see his curls. Here is Josh Nolan, and he takes a strike. 0-1. I will have to get to my car after this game and get his water bottle because it's still in the back of my car. he after the first scrimmage, he left it here, and I was thinking to myself, I'm thinking, well, where is the, like there's just random water bottle that's sitting in the dugout. And I'm thinking, well, somebody must have lost it. That's
Attaboy,
a base
Josh.
hit. Josh Nolan.
Liking what I'm seeing with Josh.
Nolan gets aboard, and I am liking what I'm seeing with him too. He's improved his defense a lot, and he's seemed to improve his hitting as well. But now this will bring up RJ Homa. Ronnie.
Just talking about it.
Yeah, we were.
Best thing about this team, we're all friends, all close.
I think that's what makes this team so special.
It really is a family. I mean, it's overstated enough where every school ever, we're a family, we're a Green Wave family. This team
is family. Yeah.
Grew up together, Audubon Little League, minors,
majors, all the way to juniors, and now where we are now. But like, especially the class of 2025 that you're a part of, I've seen pictures of like Trent Bannell and the McCracken brothers. I'm trying to think of like Tommy Quinn, all those guys.
Ron.
Yeah, those guys have like all been posing for group pictures for the last 10 years. They have all just been so closely intertwined that there's really no separation of them, Like if they got the opportunity to go somewhere else and play baseball, I would probably not be surprised if all of them stayed behind and stayed at Audubon just so that they could be with their friends, because especially when the class of 25 becomes seniors, which will be my freshman year of college, it's gonna hurt more than usual to see those guys go, because they have just had the best chemistry that you could really ever imagine for a baseball team. And shockingly enough, yes, chemistry plays a role in how good your team plays, because if you guys are all, such a bitter bunch of, just whining players that just cannot get along, it's like being in a house with 5 siblings who can't agree on what to eat for dinner. Nobody will get anything done. There's a pop-up first base side, and it will go out towards the bleachers. But yeah, we have ourselves a good one. 10-6.
This class of 2025, man, I'm so grateful to be a part of it. We got so many good guys.
I mean, there are just some classes that are more athletic than others. Like the class of 23, I'd say that the class of 24 is more athletic than them, just like from a pure student body perspective. From everybody. Whether you play baseball or not, there are just more athletes that are juniors now than there are seniors. Last year there were like 5 or 6 seniors. There was Cologne, Massey, Pinckney, Rampolla, and Driscoll. But like for the class of 24, there's more than enough.
Oh yeah. 2025 though, we've heard about for years. Tyler Wiltsey, he's the next guy.
Freshman of the year, yeah.
Trent Bannell, he's got that dog. Jason Stockland, he's got that dog. Tommy Quinn, he's got that dog.
First freshman no-hitter in like 20 years or something like that, yeah. And also versus a Group 4 school.
Oh yeah.
Like that just adds a lot of icing to the cake. Charlie Copsetta makes the play in center field, and that'll retire the side. And we'll go to the 7th. One more to play. 10-6. Green over gold. We'll take a quick break. Yeah, that's good.
$5 for some nice graphics. I do a pretty good job, I'd like to say. So.
I mean, you do better than I do, but also Photoshop is a lot more lucrative of a program, so that's where that really comes into play.
Every penny.
I would say so. I mean, I use the free version of Photoshop, which is GIMP, but...
Trent's asking to get on camera real quick. Let's see if we can pan over to him.
There's Trent. Hi, Trent. So, we have ourselves here in the top of the 7th inning, 10-6 ball game. Here is Hunter Lowe facing... I think that's Bryce Dempsey out there. That's a foul ball. And it is, Bryce.
Fellow Audubon Parkian.
Now... Oh yeah, Hunter does live in Audubon Park. I forgot about that. I mean, I've been best friends with Hunter for like 8 years, so I should probably know that by now. Now, this does create an interesting situation because you have a power hitter at the plate and two bystander citizens, Mark Wiltsey and John Stockland, putting up banners out in left field. So, I'm not saying I hope it happens, but it would be really funny if Hunter Lowe hit a line drive to left center field right now.
It would be something to watch, but I know Johnny Stocks has got some tricks in his back pocket. So
He'd probably put up one of the banners as like a fishing net and try to like catch it.
Oh yeah.
It would even be funnier if his kid was pitching. But I think his kid's out in left field. That's where JJ is. But that one is outside. Yeah, put Scott Lynch at the plate and see if we can do some target practice. You know, don't hit him, but like, you know, get like in between them, you know? Like, see if you can get in between Mark and John.
Make a fun scene for the outfielders.
That would make a fun scene for the outfielders, because right now you have a 4th and 5th outfielder. That's technically what you have. Now, I don't know, I don't have a scouting report on John Stockland and Mark Wiltsey. Yes, it is 10-6, Trent. Should be paying attention to center field. That one's a ball. 2-2.
And, I glossed over one more 2025. We're forgetting Nick Caladros.
Oh, yeah, we are forgetting Nick Caladros.
Can't forget him.
Although every time you put his name on a graphic, it's N-I-C-K, not N-I-K.
Yeah, always spelled wrong. He spells it wrong himself.
Is it not N-I-C-K?
It's N-I-K.
Wow, okay.
Greek.
I mean, yeah, that's...
Back in the Lodge days, it was the Greek Freak.
I do remember the Greek Freak. With Lodge. I do remember that. I forgot that you played for Lodge, yeah. I was a Lions kid.
Yeah, I remember. Defeated every year.
The Lions team was never championship bound. It was always either the Fathers or the Fire that were the best Little League teams. As there's our new athletic trainer, Liam Corbel, out there, as there's a fly ball that'll go foul down the right field line. Mr. LePayover was the athletic trainer for a good while before Corbel took over. There is an article about him written by our own freshman writer, Jason Ortiz, on the school website, on the school newspaper, theparrot.apsd.us. So make sure you check that out. I got some good...
reading that, I'll tell you. There's some great stories in there.
And Slavin dropped the ball. Talk about a great story there. Slavin dropped it. And yeah, that happened. Let's gloss over that one, and he'll go to first base. Dylan Pooley. That is Pooley, right? Yeah, it is
I've seen
Pooley.
Pooley everywhere these past couple days. Second base, third base. He is a true utility player.
As long as he doesn't take my job. As long as he doesn't step in this booth, I do not care where he plays. That one is a ball at the knees to Gabe McCracken. Yeah, the Parrot came back this year.
It rose from the ashes like a phoenix, but it's not a phoenix because it's a parrot.
Right. The reason why it was called a parrot is really, I think, unknown to this point. I think that whoever created the newspaper way back in the day, because back in like the 50s and 60s and even before that, basically every high school had a newspaper. There's a fly ball to center. Trent Bannell makes a nice catch on the run. And that'll be 2 outs. I think Tyler Wiltsey just called him our center fielder, which I think is really funny.
While we're talking about old Audubon, I want to bring up something I just learned the other day. Did you know we had a mascot?
Yes, we
and not
did.
like a green wave. We had a guy in a costume.
Yes.
We need to bring that back.
I honestly don't think we do, because I've seen this. I've seen the same video that you did. It's from a guy named Gus Churchill. He is like Audubon's historian, although unfortunately he passed away in 2013. He has on Flickr, the photo sharing website Flickr, he has every yearbook photo scan from 1929 to 2010. When he moved out to somewhere in Kansas, but he would record Audubon promotional videos. He would film certain events. He basically did what I did, but with, at that time he was like 70 years old. But we'll continue that story in the bottom half. One more half inning to play, 3 more outs until the green team can hold on to its inter-squad victory and have some darn good bragging rights for the next 12 hours or so. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 10-6, Team Green. Talk about that later. Well, look at the trophy that's behind home plate. I made an error when I said that this was just for bragging rights. This is for more than bragging rights. That is the Coach Inc. Cup, as the first pitch to Tyler Wiltsey is a ball. This game is not just a scrimmage, folks. The Coach Inc. Cup is here. Gavin Van Rel, he was telling me, this has been a huge deal for about 2 hours in the locker room. There's a pop-up out to third. Dempsey dropped it, and Wiltsey will hold at first. Dempsey must have lost it in the sun. That was a tough play. And Wiltsey will get first. That was a really tough play to make, and now it'll be Zach Beebe, who with 15 walks last year might look to add another to his resume. 5:55. We've been going on for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Longer than usual.
And there's no pitch clock, so everything's
there is
better.
there is no pitch clock. The only problem is I left my director's chair at home, so I have been standing for the past 2 hours. I mean, these players most too, but
There's chairs in there. I could grab you one.
where?
In the
there.
That's where we would grab ours for. I'm sure you were at the night football game. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
In the booth.
Right.
Which is being redone as we speak.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They're redoing all of that. Hopefully they can put in some darn air conditioning. Oh, it's 1-1. I mean, you look in the dugout over there. Actually, no, there's nobody in there because they're in the field right now. But everybody's standing except for Coach Rain because he doesn't need to stand.
You know, several state championships later, but this Coaching Cup might just be the biggest accomplishment.
Wiltsey will break for second. And you said that this has been a huge tradition for the past 2 hours.
Oh, big one. From being in the locker room, seeing the guys when Coach Knoll first brought it out, it was just a huge hit.
Was this like a surprise to the players? Like
it was a surprise. We had no clue.
You just thought this was a regular old Intersquad.
Yep, thought it was one of the normal ones in the past few years, but instead it is to remember the coaching done by Coaching.
Now, he does live on my street, so I will
Sadly, he's not here to present it.
Yeah.
Or his son, Christian. Not
Yeah,
here to present it.
forgot about that, yeah.
So I think Mr. Boland will be presenting it in honor.
And, yeah. I would say in memoriam, but he is very much alive and well. Coach Inc., if you're watching. There is Zach Beebe, who takes a swing and a miss.
He's probably not even aware it's named after him, but, you know, it's baseball.
Yeah, that's baseball for you. Here's the 1-2. Inside, Beebe having to back up a little bit there.
Beebe is so underrated, I'll tell you. Came to football, most underlooked guy on the field.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, stacked lineup. Scott Lynch, Luke Hope, Amari. You almost overlook senior Zach Beebe, but he was making play after play. He is...
That one's ball 4.
He is good at what he does.
Yeah, so that'll be ball 4 for Zach Beebe, which brings up Ryan Zimmer.
Ryan Zimmer, the captain of the Ryan Zimmer Gold team.
Yeah. I mean, he was one of the captains when there was the winter scrimmage back in last week of February, back when there was no fence.
No.
When we were playing by 1890s rules, and I was praying that we wouldn't have a fly ball hit my way.
And yet Charlie Compacetta still hit one right out to you.
He was about 15 feet to my right. I think a little bit more than that, but still.
I mean, he hit a home run in a stadium with no fence.
Yes.
That is...
And he hit it to the part where there was a fence. Where there's a permanent fence. But yeah, Charlie's been good. Charlie has really surprised me this year, but maybe that's just because he didn't get the same opportunity last year.
No,
because there was a small,
so much talent last year that some guys were going to get lost in the shuffle, but he has stood out. I mean, I wasn't at every game last year, but I certainly stopped by a few, and you could just tell that when he gets his opportunities like he's getting, he's a special player. One of the fastest
100%.
kids I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I agree. And I mean, you know, you look at the fact that, oh, there's a bullet out to right, misplaying it is Quinn, and he makes the catch. He's able to recover from a stumble, and Tyler Wiltsey will move along. So there's the first out.
The Coaching Cup.
Yes, those are the plays that do it. So now runners on the corners with one away. He took a step forward and realized that he had to take a step in the other direction. And here is Joey Slavin.
I think Joey Slavin's looking to embrace his inner Kyle Schwarber after last night.
Oh, yeah.
Darvish.
That was a great game. I mean, no matter who won,
great for baseball.
That was a win for baseball.
How many? What did it say? 80 million viewers?
Something like that, yeah.
96%
I mean,
of households in Japan were watching. That's
and that was, they were watching the semifinal. 80%, like 96% were watching the semifinal. That's how much that means to the Japanese culture. I mean, they were pulling in numbers better than the Super Bowl. As here comes Wiltsey to the plate, he did it again. He steals home. That's the second time he's done that tonight. He's pulled in some just magic trick where he ends up stealing home when a runner breaks for second. Now, how many times that works in an actual game, I don't know. But as soon as that ball goes down to second, you got to throw it 180 feet to get it home again. So That cuts the lead down to 7. It's down to 3, excuse me. It's 10-7. Down low. 2-0. And a little inside.
That game last night couldn't have ended better. Storybook ending on a 3-2 count.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, 2 teammates on a subpar Angels team, but nonetheless, 2 of the greatest players of our generation.
Yeah, I saw a tweet last night that said Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout enjoying what will be their last playoff game of the season.
Well, I saw a tweet that said Mike Trout should be deported, and I quit Twitter.
People talk about the fact that like the WBC, like they call it like a meaningless tournament, but when you have Super Bowl numbers for a quarterfinal game, that's not meaningless. I'm sorry, but that is not meaningless to the millions of people that were watching. You know, this is like America's World Cup. Think about it that way. Like if there was a football competition, I mean USA would win every time, but like the FIBA for basketball, that's not as big of a deal, but it's big in the Olympics. You know, like soccer has its World Cup, but Olympic soccer really isn't as overtly as big of a deal. But for baseball, you have the World Baseball Classic. I barely even paid attention to Olympic baseball because the best player was like a mid-level, mid-tier prospect on the Boston Red Sox. So, you know.
Time run up to bat.
Yeah, here we go.
Coaching Cup, this is what players are made for.
Showing bunt is Bantle.
Pulls back,
and he'll go down to second base, Slavin, so that moves the runner up. There we go.
It's preseason, we're still learning.
Oh yeah, there's a hotkey I gotta fix or something like that. I believe that was called a strike on Bell.
Gabe McCracken has messaged me right to Trent with an emoji. That was 5 minutes ago.
Ah.
I'd assume in reference to fly ball right to it.
Yeah. One. Ground ball back to the mound. McCracken picked it up, and he'll throw to first. And everybody's got to go back. I mean, Beebe didn't. Both of these runners broke, but they just didn't capitalize. And now everybody will stay put as McCracken got out of what was really an important at-bat there. What could have been a run if Beebe had scored, but the ball never left the infield, so that's a tough play there. And possibly the last man standing between that and that $60 trophy right there is Bryce Dempsey.
This is what the Coaching Cup is made for. Moments like this. Who steps up and who plays to their strengths.
And an electric crowd, as you can see on camera. Up and in. 1-0. This game's been running long. 2 hours and 23 minutes. I'm sure it feels longer for the players.
In the last 20 minutes, we've had one banner put up by Mark Woodson.
That's only for the dimensions.
Seems John Stockton has left the building.
Yeah. He left Mark out to dry. Or yeah, he did. I mean, in all fairness, John doesn't live too far from here. Lives on the same street, so right near the high school.
I'm sure given the opportunity, he would spin that golf cart around any time to get home and back.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I've seen him do it, so
I am sure Jason, out of the 900 kids that go to Audubon High School, he has one of the easiest commutes. When he gets his license, he won't even need a car. He still walks. There's a strike, 3-1. Bit of a compensation strike there.
Oh, he commutes every morning, 7 in the morning to choir.
That is true.
He's got a great work ethic.
I mean, I wake up at 6 and I still don't leave for school until like 7:30.
It's a rough ride to get to choir, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's a good program, too. All great programs here.
3-1. McCracken to Dempsey, and it's a foul ball. Count is full.
And much like Mike Trout versus Shohei Ohtani last night with the tying run up to bat, it's a 3-2 count with
there
2 outs.
we go. And in front of an electric crowd of 30,000 blades of grass, we have ourselves an electrifying
Payoff pitch.
payoff of the ball game. Gabe McCracken on the mound. Bryce Dempsey at the plate. Runners on second and third. Zach Beebe 90 feet away from scoring. The payoff is inside. Ball 4. And we will see another batter in what is already a high-scoring game. Now it will be Jason Stocklin, who will probably hope for a walk or a hit by pitch. I mean, he's hoping he doesn't get hit, but at the same time, anything will help here in a 10-7 game. Here we go. First pitch. Down low. It goes to the backstop off the padding. And it's 1-0.
It would be great to see Jason hit his first home run in this park to win the Cochin Cup. A walk-off grand slam. That's all you can ask for.
I think even he said that he's not sure he could hit a home run in this park.
Well, I don't think many people can. I know I can't.
Look, if you're fast enough and you run track, you can get it inside the Parker on a bad defender. Fly ball to right. Tommy Quinn is there. He makes the catch. And that's the ball game. Team Gold strands the bases loaded, and that's how it will end. I guess we'll have a quick trophy presentation here, and I guess they're going to line up to say good game to their own teammates. But the final makes it 10-7. Team Green over Team Gold.
Coach Geist picking up the trophy. And looks like we'll see the present. Oh, well, he had it for a second.
He's got it in the grasp of his hand. There we go.
His giant 6'4" hands.
6'4". There you go. You got it right down to the inch. He's a tall man. But folks, this is the first of 58 high school games that I'll be covering in 2023. And I gotta say, the first one was a fun one. Here in Hank Greenberg Field, the final 10-7 Team Green over Team Gold. Both teams were tied at 4 runs apiece after the first inning, but after a couple of bases loaded walks in the middle innings, that's really where this game got carried away. Here comes Wade Geist with the trophy for Team Green. They are the 2023 Coach Inc. Cup champions in what is, unlike the WBC, a scrimmage.
It's been a great one, Danny. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Gavin Van Rel, and thank you to our viewers who stuck it out for the 2 hours and 30 minutes of baseball with no fans. You would think it's 2020 all over again. The plane flies overhead, and as the weeks roll by, the flowers will start to bloom, the trees will blossom, and there it is. There's the trophy. Scott Lynch hoisting it up. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Well, folks, they're going to disperse, and so will I. Thank you, everybody, for... Let me turn this camera around. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the first DWB scrimmage this year. Let me put my sunglasses on because I can barely see. But thank you to everybody for showing up to this first DWB scrimmage here between Team Green and Team Gold for the Audubon Green Wave. I know there wasn't a lot of color coordination, but it was the best I could do. On Friday, pending the rain, there is about a 70% chance of rain, but depending on what happens, it'll be the Enfield Eagles of Connecticut and the Audubon Green Wave facing off in our first live scrimmage with pitchers that are not living 500 feet away. Folks, the final, Team Green, 10, Team Gold, 7. From everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our producer, Donna Wilkins, who could not be with us today due to a doctor's appointment, but I was able to fly solo just fine, so big thanks to our financial managers and stuff like that and everybody in our crew that does such a wonderful job of managing this broadcast day in and day out. If you're interested in helping out with our production going forward, we did open up a Venmo account at DW Broadcasting. You can take a look if I scroll up far enough in my text messages right here. You can take a look, DW Broadcasting, let's see, right there, yeah, DW Broadcasting. You can take a look at that if you'd like to help out, because we're going to be doing a lot of games this year, and it is not cheap, it is not free for us to do this stuff. There's a lot of expenses, so if you'd be willing to help out, if you have the means to, if you have the disposable income to help, that will be 100% greatly appreciated, even more than 100%. So, everybody, First scrimmage is done. We still got 5 more to go. Enfield, Springfield, Deptford, Lenape, and Triton coming up before opening day on April 4th. From everybody, it's Dan Wilkins. Good night.